take out the name YMCA. Take that right out of it, and let's talk about service providers, and let's talk about service delivery. And I think, go right back to the CAO's report earlier today, this council has never defined, in terms of partnering for service delivery, what it wants. I would presume that everybody at this table would want every community in Lambton Shores to be well. I'm one of them. So to me, the issue is twofold. Number one, are we respecting the procurement policy if we extend this contract? Number two is, if we're into wellness services, then what kind of wellness services do we want right across this municipality? And for me, it's not an issue of who's providing the service, it's an issue of what services do we want provided. And I can tell you arguably, the treasurer will probably have a better handle on this than I do. This particular wellness service costs this municipality over a tax point every year. And so the question, and that's why I asked the CAO earlier, is I think in a partnership, you need to look at risks on both sides. And in this particular agreement, and I've got it here, and I've been looking at it for 2.5 years, I don't know what risks the service provider is taking. We have life cycling on the equipment, we do maintenance, we pay the mortgage on the building, we pay the utilities, and on top of that, we pay them a sizable management fee. We've had 2 inquiries. I know way back in 2006 there were expressions of interest. I don't know if those were RFPs. But subsequent to the first time we brought this to the table, we have had 2 service providers in the Lambton Shores area, one from Arcona and one from Grand Bend, express interest in delivering the service. So I don't want to question the service that the current service provider is delivering, but this council, knowing we've got a $250,000 hit to take off the budget right off the bat, I think needs to have a serious discussion about what type of services we are going to encourage or deliver right across the municipality. And I think a tax point to benefit one community, I don't think is fair or equitable, and I sure don't think it's fair to expect current providers in the fitness areas in this municipality who pay significant commercial dollars to take that money and put it towards enabling a particular service provider in one community. I don't think it's fair, I don't think it's equitable, and I read Mr. Hart, our lawyer's position on this. I read it again this morning, and he says very clearly, it would appear that we are complying with competitive legislation. Those are the death knell in decision making. It would appear. There's no definitive position on this. So I'm just saying, I think we need further discussion. I would like to see this recommendation deferred until we've had a discussion in terms of what we think the type of service delivery we should be putting right across this municipality. We all pay tax dollars. We all want to reap the benefit. And I think this has been an unfair situation. And no disrespect to the service provider, I'm not even going. I'm just talking about the service that's being provided.
That's good. Or Councilor Russell?
Yeah, good report on it, and the best part is on page 56, where it said that from the master plan has got a lot of gaps in it because we identified things, and as we just saw with the EDC type of thing, it takes time to fill in those gaps, right? And I think one of the points that's well made here is that we have a lean staffing arrangement. We don't have a recreation department. That is the best understatement written in all the time I've been back. It's just wonderful. Lean staffing arrangement. We now have a 2-person staff, or a person and a half staff. 2-person staff, okay. So it's very lean, and but the reality is, all these points here is exactly right. And Councillor Bonesteel talks about whatever equity or something like that. But this continue to explore ways with local partners to fill local gaps in programming through the balance, because we haven't had that full discussion. That was left to the staff after the recreation master plan, correct? Right? That we were going to, as part of our discussion and budgeting, et cetera, et cetera. So the fact of the matter is, it says right here that the YMCA is exploring other avenues to expand their services in Lambton Shores. So my question through you, Mr. Mayor, is I don't know who to ask this to, but is it gap filling because of the master plan, the things that were identified, or is it the YMCA looking to expand the market? Because the gap filling that happened at Grand Bend through the Optimist wasn't a gap filling that came through our recreational needs, it was through the Optimist wanting to second out their programming, correct? So could you fill me, I don't know where to go with this one because we haven't had this discussion about the services, I don't think.
Yeah, if you think I'm going to be sitting around here deciding whether or not we're going to have, I don't know, a shuffleboard or darts night or whatever, whether we're going to put that in, I'm not interested. This is exactly the same conversation as we had the issue before, as far as I'm concerned. We put out RFPs if we want to do in-house. We come up with a reason whether pro or against in-house. The same way, I would like to see that come forward as well, and I'd like to go for, personally, I know there's a motion on the table, but I'd rather go for an RFP process and see where we're at. And quite honestly, they come with a request for proposal, or they propose something, and if we say, gee, that fits our organization a lot better, we go with that. And that seems like we're going to stay here, or we may not stay here, but we're going to pay a little bit more, but look what we get. And that's why you have an RFP process.
The motion here that has been moved and seconded is to renegotiate Mr. Sarnia White for 5 years. So we'll deal with that motion. If it doesn't pass, then I'll look for a second. Recommendation 3.4 on the Suncor Wellness Center. All those in favor of renegotiating, please stand up. Those opposed? I'll left over there. Okay. The motion is lost. Councilor Underwood.
Yeah, I make a motion that we go with 1.2 of the recommendation RFP in the new services contract with the amendment that we also look at the possibility of in-house service delivery as well as part of the RFP. Pretty well the same process what we're looking at for the thing before. We have got a budget thing. I'm sorry, we do have an election coming up next year. We've got a budget constraint coming up, which was $188,000. It is a very good time for us to actually look at these contracts that are coming up and whether or not we can do it in-house or not. So say we don't do it in-house, it's possible. 5 years from now, we'll start having